en la siguiente partida, si pierdes, pierdes todo tu año competitivo. Entonces, nada, obviamente vamos a salir a intentar ganar. Obviamente es tu última oportunidad, ahora sí.
Un punto de vida y 5 puntos de vida para Cloud, pero ahora sí se recuperan. Era un fake defuse. Pasaron las 2 eliminaciones. El clutch para Shy.
I came in as a 6th man, and a lot of things hit me. Yeah, on a new team, on a new role, IGLing, so I'm proving it to myself to see if I can make it again.
Very passive play, Cosmic Divide in their face, pushing forward, onto it, the new changes, Marved is making the most of it.
He knows that Bang was over towards B-Link.
Yeah.
Bang was so far away.
What a play!
Welcome back to day 4 of the VCT Americas LCQ, and it's time for our lower bracket semifinal match. It is do or die here between Sentinels, and Leviatán. I'm Golden Boy, of course, joining the desk here. We got Baby Bay Wyatt, Sean Garris to talk about all the good stuff. And this is one that, I've been excited about because, well, after, Leviatán yesterday, I'm just curious to see, if that was just a bad day for Lev, or is this team really the real deal like everyone else has been saying?
100%. I mean, at the start of the year, they were rated super high. People had big expectations going into lock-in. All right, they win 2 games and they lose to Na'Vi. Na'Vi or Na'Vi, we can kind of write that off a little bit. Sure. Yeah. Then we head into the beginning of this season. They beat NRG right away. Again, they're at the top of the rankings, and then slowly start slipping and slipping. And we've arrived at this place now where we're just saying, oh, God, please, Lev, turn this around.
Yeah, it's a lot of despair.
Love of God, Lev, yeah. That's what we're hoping for, right? We just want to see this happen because it's Leviatán. It's a team that we've come to really enjoy watching throughout the season here. And in their matchup against Crew, it really, Sean, it just felt like Leviatán were fishing for answers and just did not have a fishing rod.
Yeah, that first map, it was rough. It was hard to watch. I mean, their rotations were really poor. I was hoping to see a more strategic comp come out of them on split, to be honest, but then they went back into that double duelist. And honestly, they were just getting duelist dished by Kesnet. He was 1-on-2ing them out there. And I'm just scared today because the skill on Sentinels can kind of do that same thing to them.
To be fair, I mean, like you said, he was going against the likes of Kesnet, who has just been dominating everybody. But yeah, today, definitely, Taco needs to step up. His team needs him to perform on this duelist role, and he's going to have to go against the likes of Zekken and Tens. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
Now, here's the thing. We're looking for some positivity, all right? I want some positives. Now, Sean, you're the most positive guy that I know. You go positive in this server, and you go positive in life. So bring that positivity. How's Lev win this?
Just beaming with positivity.
He's such a positive guy.
So, I think the positive takeaway is just... these Lotus rounds that they won, I have to give credit to Crew. I thought Crew was looking so poised to win almost every round, but that's not a reflection of how poorly Leviatán played. I actually thought they needed to play perfectly to win these rounds, and most teams, there's no way that they hold this site, and there's definitely no way the Floods come anywhere near what Crew got them to in this game. Clearly, Crew had a game plan to play against Leviatán here today or yesterday, and I don't know if Sentinels can pull together something as strategic as what Crew did yesterday.
Fascinating. What is interesting, though, is that we did get an opportunity to talk with Kaplan briefly. We saw him for a moment. He had mentioned that, they have familiarity with Crew, but sometimes, right, that familiarity can not play out to your favor because who knows? I mean, you go into the server, it seems like everything just gets thrown upside down. Look at Crew. But, of course, in talking about some of the players that stepped up yesterday, I think, Shy is certainly one that we're going to have to lean on here, Wyatt, because he certainly did have his moments, without a doubt, and you're going to be looking for that from Shy today against Sentinels.
Yeah, he's always just been a fairly consistent player for the team that doesn't get a ton of mention, but it's not for poor play. It's just he's consistent. He never really goes crazy, but
straddles a lot.
He never really falls off either. He's always been solid throughout Lev's ups, downs, whatever. He had a good clutch yesterday, that 1v2 that was just on your screen. He played pretty well. And I think he's one of the key players when some of the other guys are struggling a little bit. If guys like Shy, King, who we know is top tier. I'm looking at a duo like that to turn up, like what Kesnet, Klaus, like be that kind of duo for these guys.
Yeah, to have that is certainly going to be very vital for Leviatán, because their opponents, Sentinels, are obviously looking quite good at this point in time. And this, even though that loss was the first loss that roster took together as a team against Cloud9, I think Baby Bay, the question on our mind, and I think we kind of know the answer, but is, can this Sentinels team bounce back?
I definitely think that they can bounce back. We need to see a strong start from Zek, and every time he gets a strong start in a series, he just takes over. We've seen it. We've seen it on the Jet, on Pearl. He'll drop like 20 kills and a half and just go nuclear. Also, another good player that played phenomenal last series, even though they lost, was Sachi. We haven't seen him play like that on Breach in a minute, or Breach at all in a minute.
Yeah, no, he was reminding everybody why he's a world champion, right? Yeah. I mean, the dude has been a top-tier initiator since the game came out, and he was on, like, Knids. I mean, he's been, like, the dude has seriously been, when it was just, in the era where everything was stuck in their own regions, he was clearly the best initiator in Brazil. And then he was clearly the best player when the BR team started going to international lands. That's why he was on Loud. That's why he made the finals of Reykjavik, won champions. This guy has been at the top tier since the game's beginning, Sean.
Yeah, and that's why people were so dumbfounded when we saw him on Omen earlier this stage, right? They were trying to figure out their roles, trying to figure out how to get this puzzle to work, with two different controllers in Marv de Pancada. Saucy, also an initiator, kind of flexing the same roles almost to an extent as Zekin can. And then there's Tens, who was a star duelist, so it doesn't really fit together. But now that we've seen Tens embrace this KO and the way he's played recently, everything's falling right into place at the right time for Sentinels. And when I watch their map pool, I think they can beat anyone on any map right now. That just how they play off of each other, I've never seen them like this. The way they played Fracture against Cloud9 was by far the most impressive map this iteration of Sentinels has played.
Well, here's go for a why.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I mean, even to that point, Kaplan said that he thought on the Pearl game that they lost, that he still felt like they actually played better than Cloud9. They were just, it was Leaf hitting shots, so they do have that confidence. Like, that is very real, what you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. And they should have that confidence because, as we had noted, and as you see on this wall, right, we keep harping it because it's true. This is a team full of champions, people who have achieved so much in this game. And the really interesting thing about this as an organization, Sentinels actually haven't really been in the forefront at the global events for quite some time now, Wyatt. So you have to wonder, right, like, there's also a little bit of that kind of existing over there where there's this desire for this team who expects greatness, an organization who expects greatness, to be in that position at champs.
I mean, when you sign 4 world champions, your expectation is, hey, we could be world champions, right? I mean, going out at the LCQ to LEV, that is not really where they want to end this year, right? I mean, they want to get at least back to that international stage, take down LCQ. And with the 4 world champion thing, too, I mean, you got to expect these guys can bounce back. Like, they're not going to take this loss to heart. They've lost a lot. Yeah. I mean, shoot, like Marv on Optic, they will lose tons of games internationally and then win a tournament. So, I mean, these guys know how to bounce back.
The guy not up there is Zekin. I mean,
it's
it's not like their 5th is just...
He will win a championship one day.
He's going to get it, right? He's been the star player on every team he's ever been on. This guy has star player written all over him. Bren's tweet calling him like the best player in 2 years, I totally agree. This guy is unreal. And to be playing with this squad, I feel like it's just a matter of time before it all clicks. Yeah. And it seems like we're getting so close to that point. I'm afraid, though, if they lose, we won't ever get to see it.
Yeah, well, and of course, keeping this one current here and talking about the 2 current world champions, we have to address Sasi and Pancada, who, these are guys who time and time again, we have talked about them, bigged them up, praised them. And even though, baby, this season has been a little bit up and down for both of them, role swaps and all that stuff, it still feels like that these 2 guys still have that magic in them.
I mean, that's exactly it, right? It's the role swaps and getting adjusted to them. that was the big thing. I think when we see a player like Pancata especially thrive is on the double controller maps, and it was actually a pleasure to see Sashi go off on Breach here. I heard that somewhere that he doesn't even like playing the character, but my guy, how do you not play it when you bombs like that, bro? Like we said. I mean, seriously, man. Like I feel like that can open up a whole new area for them to go into.
I feel like, I mean, the duo between them is magic for someone like me to watch. Watching them move around in the mid round, where the strats break down, and it's clear that these two develop a plan because of their experience together. And I've heard behind the scenes, you know, they start speaking Portuguese to each other in clutches and stuff like that. Everything works so well when they're together in a little pack, and that's why I trust them deep in these tourneys.
Yeah, fair. Okay, well, we have a little bit of time here, so I just want to get a quick predictions. Who do you think is going to win?
Sentinels.
Sentinels. Sen.
I'm gonna go with Lev.
Lev, hey! We got the Lev opium over here.
My brother's on that team.
It's for his brother. It's for his brother. That's why.
Listen, I love the Sentinels players, but
that's perfectly fine. All right, guys. Well, Coach Kaplan as well as owner are standing by for the map picks, so let's see where we're headed.
Hello and welcome back to the VCT LCQ map pick band. This time around with Sentinels and Leviatán. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. We're gonna decide on Team A and Team B. And Lev, it looks like you guys are gonna be the higher seed. So which one do you want?
Team A.
Team A, that's gonna leave Sentinels with Team B. And Team A, Lev, you're gonna go ahead and have that first map banned. Taking out Ascent from the map pool is Lev. Sen, your counter ban.
Haven.
Banning Haven, taking that out and off the pool. Go ahead. And now we have Lev picking our first map. Fracture for map number 1. And Sen, what side would you like?
Defense.
Defense on Fracture for Sentinels. Sen, your pick in response.
We'll pick split.
Picking splits. And of course, Lev, your side.
Defense.
Defense. Now let's go ahead and move on to the map bans once again. Lev, what do you want to ban out?
Ban
Lotus now out of the map pool. And Sentinels, your ban.
Ban Bind.
Banning Bind. That's going to go ahead and leave us with Pearl. And Lev, what's going to go ahead and be your side for that?
Defense.
Defense on Pearl for Lev. And let's go ahead, get a quick recap of what we've got. It's going to go ahead and be Lev, map number 1, Sen on defense. Split, map number 2 with Lev on defense once again. And then we have Pearl, Lev, defense once more. That's going to be it for our map pick ban. Thank you folks for that.
Thank you.
Let's have a good game.
Bienvenidos a nuestra segunda partida del día. Intentando ir de abajo hasta arriba como la serpiente marina. Está Massino, Shy, King, Nosworth, Tacolilla y Coach Onur, Leviatán!
I gotta stay in my lane. I gotta stay in my zone. You know I'm paving the way to make sure my people are known. Bonus of fighters, ain't nobody higher. You don't need a lighter, I'm bringing the fire. Nobody better, they fell in my presence. I'm known as a legend, but you call me sire. I'm too legit, man, I overcommit. Oh no, I never quit, but I'll make you retire. Say you a winner, but man, I don't buy it. Addicted to grinding, man, you gotta try it. I don't want nothing for free. I'm here to work. Only one spot for me. I gotta be first. I'm who they all wanna be. Come through your worst. I've been through the dirt. I've been through the dirt. I don't want nothing for free. I'm here to work. Only one spot for me.
And Sen City, are you in the building? Allow me to introduce Tens, Zekin, Morb, Sasi, Pancata. It's Sentinels!
Sen City's looking to be jumping tonight, but not if the Sea Serpents have anything to say about it. As Leviatán take on Sentinels, that is what a Leviathan is, after all. But this right here is going to be such a fascinating matchup because for us, the question is, does this team, this Leviatán team, have it in them to be able to take down Sentinels? And does Sentinels, like, are they prepared for a potential Leviatán upswing? Because we've seen, Wyatt, what would happen in the past when teams would have these hot starts and then the other squad just can't seem to bounce back. So this is something that they're going to need to temper right away if Leviatán get hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we're going to see a Sentinels as well. They can smell the blood in the water. With Cloud9 taking that loss today, how they destroyed them on Fracture and Map 2. I think they're hungry to get back there, and I think they can feel that they can make it to the finals.
Yeah, JB and I were talking to Coach Kaplan, you know, backstage, and he was super confident, actually.
Yeah, he was.
Actually end in 2, and it wouldn't even go to a 3rd map.
Yeah, which is, you know, ambitious to say the least. But, you know, baby, I mean, we've seen that ambition sometimes kind of get thrown aside of the past as we see here the agent select starting to come through.
Absolutely. And I was just going to say on the flip side, this could be the start to a great run for Lev. You know, they need this. This is a big test for them right now because we didn't really get to see much in their last series, so.
Yeah, and we did, but that's the problem though, right? All season long, we kept thinking to ourselves, when are we going to see the change-ups from Leviatán? When are we going to see the pivots and their new strategies? And it didn't necessarily come here. Do you feel like we're starting to get it here now, maybe a little bit?
I mean, listen, King on Raze, I like what I'm seeing already.
Hey, I'll take that.
Honest, I mean,
Raze?
Oh my
listen, if they switch to Taco's chamber, he was good on that role last year. He was always solid. If they go for that with the King Duelist, I'm getting excited.
Yeah,
could be a double duelist, I think.
It could be double duelist, or we could see the chamber raise as the double duelist. This is something Sentinels was actually running, I think, week 1.
Yeah.
And Tens and Zekken were popping off on this comp. So this is something they understand the limitations of this comp. If there's anyone that can shut down the double duelist on Fracture, it's Sentinels.
Yeah, we'll have to see if this ends up happening and coming to fruition. But it is now time to get this elimination match underway and send it over to a couple of clowns. Here's Brennan's sideshow.
Yeah, not anymore, GB. I mean, whoa, what is this? What is this?
Hello, me.
2 places at once. I was about to make the claim we tossed out a costume. And then it just surely throwing it up. Let's get into it. Elimination match, still got jokes on the way. And yeah, this is a big one, Josh, man. I mean, Sentinels versus Lev. It's the lower bracket. It's the lower bracket. It's elimination on the line.
Yeah.
And yeah, production needs to be cursed for an eternity for showing that again, man.
We are in topsy-turvy world, though. I feel like the desk has still had to sell this chance of a Leviatán comeback, despite how rough they looked, because we've seen teams bounce back. The crew run is the definition of that, to go 0-9 and then go on a hot streak afterwards. But there was a break in the middle there and time to retool, fix stuff. Leviatán have barely had any time to turn this around. If you're rooting for the LATAM team here to win, you gotta hope that they just got outclassed by Crew, because Crew are the best team in the universe.
Right. Maybe that's why Fracture was the map pick of their choice as well. Maybe get King on the pivotal role, playing that Duelist again. The desk was talking about it. I'm a fan of it.
Definitely.
He was looking like the best player at times, but here we go. It's slow to begin with. Look at this setup here. Off of somebody's contact there. Sassy is holding a stun. They got a flash.
Yeah, I love it.
It's off the cam, actually. Yeah, it's a beautiful trap play.
It's a lovely trap play. But also, the only player in the area is Tacolia, right? And he's starting to dismantle this, and this is going to force Pancada to stay outside of his camera. I mean, obviously the camera not active now as well, but it makes it much more difficult to run a trap play like this. Instead, Tens and Zekken are just going to be double facing. The play, though, happening over towards A, as the entirety of Leviatán essentially making their way very slowly, contacting up through A halls. And what we noticed from Sentinels Fracture and why it was ending up being so dominant on this side, I mean, the map in general, they had tons of trap plays. And this double duelist comp is playing so cautiously right now in the pistol.
Yeah, very careful. It's going to be that full retake on the pistol. 5v5. Stun being held here. An attempt maybe to fight into the spawn. Fault line's there. Yep, King was trying to get set up for something, but Tens, he does contain. Playing a bit more patiently. Taco with a dash active. Oh, PC. Something's gone wrong there. Still see the kills coming through for Lev.
Shy picking up 10s as there's a fight happening over a door.
Yeah.
Lev picking everything up.
And second to last one left. And he's still wondering about Taco. He's like, he knows he's vacated there, but does he know it's because of the PC? Not quite. Time's running short. Lev still win the pistol round despite that.
A Taco with the perfect play.
Yeah, the perfect play, the distraction play. Take no part in the round. Just run away.
Was it not Tens doing something extremely similar when we saw them play Bind with that Yoru mirror?
Exactly. It's mirrors of that one. So obviously a tech pause there.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, it's great that it happened when it did, because at that point, Leviatán had already really cemented themselves in the round.
Yeah.
That full contact play all the way through A halls, dodged every part of the trap setup on B, and was able to secure them the site. They got so deep before they made a single piece of noise. They had essentially cleared out the majority of the site all throughout halls right before those smokes went down.
Yeah, and we know as well, Josh, you know, behind the scenes, hanging out at the arena, Lev, after that loss yesterday, I mean, they were still on the grindstone, man. The body views were kicking. They were looking back their match, seeing what they could look for as well.
I mean, their intro song that they've selected is Nothing for Free, We're Here to Work.
Yeah.
there could not be anything more Leviatán.
It fits them like a glove, doesn't it?
It certainly does. But yeah, they're certainly looking to try and rebound. They've only got one piece of data. You know, that one example of Sentinels playing on this map with this composition. It works extremely differently to what SEN were playing during the regular season. You heard the desk kind of discussing that they'd been playing a lot of the double duelist stuff early on Fracture.
So obviously, getting the PC sorted, you can see it as well. Got the finest minds on the job here.
Yeah.
And Taco's getting that sorted out as well, hopefully getting into the action momentarily. He's got the dogs out.
That's not Taco.
No.
Everyone's got the dogs out.
Pancada, I think, yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see this match play out. I think a lot of people are looking for both of these teams to try and make a resurgence.
Yeah.
There's a lot of SEN fans hoping that they can make a run through the low bracket.
Yeah. I mean, the desk was talking about it, right? The last time they made an international event was Champs 2021.
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
2 years since they were in that kind of situation.
They've been clamoring for any sort of international appearance. This is the last chance they'll have of it in this year.
And at the time, they had qualified as the top team in North America. The times have shifted so dramatically to, even if they were to go on a fabulous lower bracket run here, they would still only be squeaking in within the Americas region. And we had talked to Davies. Vansili was there in the interview. He wants Leviatán to be in that final for the double LATAM.
He does.
El Clásico, which I'm sure all of the fans in that region are looking forward to too, if Lev can pick things up.
Yeah, the teams on both sides, you know, Lev and Crew, they're both friends as well. After their match, you know, when it was Crew knocked them down, it was, I was seeing them all just like talking to each other.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging
smiling. I don't quite know how you could be friends with somebody after Kesnit's just obliterated you like that. There'd be some bad blood between me and someone who did that.
I mean, listen, I'll keep it in the server, you know. Friends on the outside anyway. Well, we are going to be getting this tech pause sorted momentarily. We're going to send it down to GB to Phil for the meantime as well. Take it away, GB.
All right, thank you so much, fellas. Appreciate it. And yeah, so we're having a little bit of a tech pause there. We'll be sure to get that underway. But despite it all, though, Leviatán managed to pull it off, so that was pretty cool.
That was clean.
I'm going to do that in my rank games now. I'm just going to push sand, and then I'm just going to drift over to the side. real
Biggest
quickly.
brain pistol round strat I've ever seen.
Why is this Jet not trading this kill?
The fake Yoru clone into spawn, leaving 2 people staring at him like they don't know. What is he doing? Why is he not peeking? Why is he not trading? What's going on here, man?
I know. It's absurd. Certainly absurd. But that being said, though, it does give us a little bit of time here as we're waiting for the gear to get swapped out so that this way we can jump back into the action. Thank you so much for bearing with us for the time being. Hopefully you don't mind just chilling with the homies for a few minutes while we go ahead and do that stuff. So let's talk about, you know, kind of set things up a bit more, make fun of Sideshow a bit. He had said that we were trying to big up Leviatán here, but here's the thing. Baby Bay, you picked Lev to win, and now you have an opportunity to explain yourself. So,
okay, no, it's fine. First of all, my brother's on the team, so I got to support family.
Obviously.
But
you know?
secondly, is that I feel like strategically they are just more ahead of Sentinels right now because when I look at Sentinels, I feel like they haven't really had a lot of time with Marved IGLing, right? Mm-hmm. They've looked way better than when they first got him on the team, of course. But I don't think it's enough time when you're playing against a team like LEV, who's in general just been together longer, right?
Yeah.
So I think strategically they should have the upper hand. And the way to beat teams like Sentinels is the same way you beat FaZe every time you play them, right? Just don't let the duelists go crazy, and you'll probably win. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be. No. I'm not going to be the black hole of despair. Okay.
Oh, sure.
I'm not going to be. But that being said, no. But it's the thing. All of the LEV players have at points all been very good. Yes. There is a reason that this team came together. There's a reason they brought in some of the guys from crew like Mazzino. It's just the way things have turned. We haven't seen that enough recently. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's a bit of my cope, is that they've all been very good at certain points. But due to team, you know, overarching team failures, they've just never been able to, you know, individually even return to that state, because it's hard to look good individually when nothing is working. You're seeing players try to overcompensate. Other players, you know, taking too risky of peaks, being caught out of position because it's like, wait, what the hell were we doing again? Like, the strat's not working.
Yeah. That's the problem, is they're so rigid that when they try to not be rigid, it's just like chaos. And everyone's over peaking and making kind of poor decisions at that point. And they don't have that middle ground that a team like Sentinels has, where they can mid-game around the map. I do agree with what you were saying, baby. I think Sentinels is way less structured than Leviatán. And if this was against a team that I know likes the anti-strat and game plan for their opponents, I would say that matters. Because when I watched Sentinels against 100 Thieves, they were doing like one strat a map. It was just like on Pearl, they would go A. On Split, they had like a basic mid-take into like an A hit and a B hit. It was all very simple. And if you watch the VOD, you would be able to anti-strat it. Leviatán's not that team, though. They don't do that. They just play their game plan.
I mean, they have said they don't like anti-strat.
Exactly.
They're very adamant.
They are determined to not anti-strat.
Yes.
I mean, that is a quote, from owner that has been repeated ad nauseum, because it is, especially during the way that the season played out. We were playing one game a week. It was what? Like, that was mind-blowing for many.
Yeah. So I know we didn't get to see much, but even that pistol round, I kind of did like what LEV was doing. I like that they went to go break the Cypher utility at the A site, and then they went back and hit the other site, and they had a free site, and their post plant did look good, even with the Yoru clone jet that, like, you know, I've never seen before personally. I think I've done that on stream. Oh, excuse me. I think I've done that on stream once or twice. You know. You know, don't
do that, kids. Don't do that, kids. But
I liked what I saw, though. I liked how they tried to manipulate a rotation and breaking that Cypher util to deny it early.
Yeah, and look, I think if we can get that out of LEV, you know, this is going to be a very competitive series. But shifting gears for a moment here in 2023, Marv, of course, playing on a new team, on a new role, and IGLing as well. Earlier, we had a chance to speak with him about making this transition. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Team has definitely improved a lot. We had a lot of time to practice, and for me, myself, I feel like calling is getting easier for me, especially with just the amount of practice. Everyone's on the same page, so I don't always have to micromanage everyone. But other than that, I'm learning to keep it simple and just trust my reads. The team has trusted me a lot more, so it's just, you know, time. All we needed was time.
All they needed was time, is what he's saying there. And, you know, you're very familiar with Marv. You've played against him, with him. You know, I want to get your perspective on this, Baby Bay, right? Him coming into this IGL role, a tall task to ask for this player here, especially with a high-stakes situation like the LCQ.
Yeah, he's always been a very smart player when I've played with him. I mean, he was the only one that was like the glue for that old roster. We had no IGL. So, like, without him mid-rounding or doing any of that, which I'm sure he's doing a bunch of now on top of like just full IGLing. Yeah. Like I like he's always been a phenomenal player in that aspect. So I think playing under FNS and seeing what it takes to be like a championship IGL, which FNS is, you know, I think he probably did learn a lot, and he probably just does need more time. I just don't think it is enough time to make the deepest of runs.
Oh, potentially. That's a bold statement there. But of course, guys, I did get word. Oh, good news, folks. We're ready to jump back into the action. Oh, my spider senses are tingling. Let's go ahead, though, and send it back over to the casters. Jump us back into the action. Brent, sideshow over to you. Go ahead and make fun of me.
No, I would never do that. I would never do that. We're going to be getting into the action momentarily. Hopefully the problem's resolved as well. Swapping out the PC in the meantime. And yeah, just keep you all up to date. Fracture, map number 1. You haven't missed much. Just a pistol round, just the opening.
Yeah, it's we're going to be heading back into things here with massive economy advantage, right? So things are not exactly going to be even as we launch back in here. Leviatán in the driver's seat. And Sentinels had such a fantastic defense side against Cloud9. And like I said, so much of that was based on those trap plays coming through. And Sen have gambled possibly the correct side here.
Yeah.
Level look like they're headed right into this.
This makes a lot of sense to do. Doubled up.
Both sheriffs.
Yeah. You can do some serious damage here, but no casualties. Narrowly avoiding it. And Lev spot that out. Seeing 2 players, they want nothing to do with it. Not against the half-buy or the eco.
I really like this. Both rounds that we've seen so far are Lev figuring out where the danger is on the map, where the trap play is, where the stack is, and then heading in the opposite direction. This is a double duelist composition. You'd be expecting this to be fast, explosive, flashy, and instead they're creeping around the map, finding the openings.
Super cautious. Making sure to gather all the information before they really commit into anything. Makes a lot of sense. Does make them a bit more susceptible, though, to faster plays. If Sentinels on the defensive side, they choose to fight over an area of the map.
Yeah, and if they, you know, commit to an area where Sen are fighting over, that could definitely be an issue. But with how cautious they are, I would expect them to back off if there was that level of defensive aggression.
Yeah.
And think about it in terms of...
Okay.
Okay, tens. Prime form! No way!
3 kills! And is there time on the clock? Can this be possible? Can this be doable? It's diffusing halfway. Distractions plays, and needs to be coverage. Tens is sticking in, no time. But a decent try, nevertheless. Yeah, that'll make you hold your breath for a second, won't it?
Is everyone awake again? We come back from the break and woken up.
Absolutely.
Well, sometimes you just get a reminder of the special level of mechanics that Tens has.
In my notes here, Josh, I had, you know, Tens unreal form. Will it continue?
Yeah.
And I think there's a little teaser for us, honestly. The aim is still sharp.
Yeah, we'll see when rifles get into hands. And that's just taken a lot of the sting out of the buy this round. 2 players still had pistols, so they're going to be able to upgrade here. King and Taco, the 2 duelists. But look, the pace is still really slow. Shy getting up here, looking to try and break the Cypher utility and punished. Great adaptation from Marved. Not so much a trap setup on B, but just looking for that same play that Taco went for round 1.
Else ready. Actually punishing it, yeah. That poking and prodding. That's when Lev are trying to hunt down and break the Cypher util.
And now Taco's looking to prod the opposite direction, possibly assuming that Marved would still be playing Generator or Canteen, whereas he has doubled up with Pancada on site.
Here's the committal. All the way through over towards drop here. An attempt now through the smoke. That's a pop flash play around the corner. Tens taking the lead for the rest of his team. Gathered up now. Shoulder to shoulder. That's going to be the spike lowered down, but enough time to reset the aim, but still brought down with the trade. This is full control of the site, full control of the spike. King and Taco have to pull out something special. You can hear him barreling towards him. Taco, he knows that he's being squeezed on those angles. That is beautiful movement from Marv. Adjusting it, never giving an easy shot. Leaving it up to King, but well, that is sharp.
The form's looking good from the Sentinels players, and that's something that we've been discussing a lot at LCQ. I was a bit concerned there because Marved was barreling into halls way in front of Pancada. Would have been rough if he missed the shot, but delivers. Winning 2 crucial duels to help his team get into a fantastic spot and then to close them out again. Ooh.
Take what's useful.
So far, Leviatán have been able to avoid the major traps and major dangers, but this is our first rifle round. And we see them, broadly speaking, set up towards the north side and just ultimately ready for any defensive aggression. 2 double faces, high-low setups, 1 watching Dish and 1 watching Arcade.
Really cautious and aware of any sort of aggression that might come out of Sen.
Talk about discipline.
Yeah, just trying to absorb it.
But the problem with this kind of setup, potentially, is that you do spend a lot of time waiting for your opponent to do something without taking map control yourself.
There it is, flash reclearance from Sen, all that Hall's control. This is going to give them a good indicator that most of Lev are going to be sitting towards the north side of the map.
And Shy is the person that's potentially under pressure.
He's
right
in the
now.
danger zone, yeah. the turret active. They know that he is at least tethered around that area of the map.
Always got an exit route via tunnel.
They might seek to punish here. Rolling Thunder, there's nobody onto the side to get that connection onto. Into the smoke, Pancade's repositioned now into the trip, and Pancade does claim the 1 kill. It's an orbital strike committed just into B main, maybe off of somebody's timing there, but it doesn't really get too much else done. It's a player advantage still to Sentinels. Bit of a breather in the round here because it's LEV who need to get the spike down. Time is of the essence.
Aftershock.
Seconds, yeah.
Nade.
30 seconds left.
So many things here that Sen can use to try and deny the plant.
There it is, Aftershock comes out. It's a flash over the top. The Aftershock connects. It's King's going to be falling to the utility here, and LEV are really just feeling bogged. At this point, 2 players left alive as a 2v4. Might have to consider saving, but you still have control of the site. How are you going to really get this done? A tap onto it, but no, forcing it out. Not a favorable fight to take. This is Mark just cleaning them up.
Really well done by Sen there. There was a moment in that round where it could have all gone wrong. As Mazzino used his orbital strike, you called it out. It was based on Shy feeding that information over to him. Shy realized there was players coming from tree, called for the orbital strike. You just see it here, and they had to dash in front of it. Now, had Shy been able to pick one of those off, and then secondized orbital strike, maybe the round goes differently, possibly. But otherwise, Sentinels had all the map control they needed to get that flank retake working, and they pushed Leviatán down onto the bad buy.
How will this get taken? Jump spot from King. Again, that utility, supportive utility. Sassy and Tens have been amazing with it. Fault line for a fault line, just traded out equally. No ground to be gained. Taco, he's lucky there. Dash was active. Pop flash play was dodged, and it's the face. But they don't quite have the guns. Sen always going to be favored there.
Taco not quite realizing that Pancade was holding the line. Pretty aggressive angle for Pancade to take, and he swings again, not scared whatsoever.
Falling to pieces.
Picking them apart.
Yeah.
And the way the LEV are playing currently is that they have 3 players probing in one of these areas, and then double lurks happening over on the B side. Taco is playing as a lurking jet currently, not playing that hard entry role, and Shy has also been given quite a bit of freedom to explore arcade. Now, if Sen get an idea that that's happening, those are targets to be crunched on. And the more that you realize that those lurks are trying to be worked, the more easy they are to read.
This is ready.
We need to see some variety now from Leviatán. Maybe this would be a nice time to throw in some kind of fast execute with the double duelist comp. You've kind of conditioned Sen to expect slow-paced gameplay and a bit more of a prodding approach towards B. But instead, it looks disciplined and slow again.
Yeah. Same old, same old. They're going to be facing this, though. This is the trap play, maybe. There's no cam, but it's just going to be off, again, any sort of sound cue, or a strike on top of it. The flash re-peek. Players being caught with that. A slight amount of damage onto King. Spike was dropped down as well. It's good information. It's going to be called here for Sen.
And look how aware they are that there could be some kind of flank on the other side. Great kill from Marv. He gets 2.
Yeah. Takes the first one out, gets help from his teammate. Doubled up here. Smoke's being watched for because they are so aware.
I mean, Shy was never getting anything done there. Sentinels were so aware.
Offer him the 1. Sassy out in the open. Spike in his hands here. Pancade swiftly moving towards him here with the rifle in his hands. Loses another duel. 11 health. Plenty of time on the clock. 45 seconds. Are they really just going to give him a series of 1v1s? It looked like potential was there maybe, but no, in the end, it's the 3-2-1 double face.
Sentinels looking hot in terms of how they're firing. Tens 9-1, Marved 8-1, winning so many of these duels. And they're so important. I mean, the way that Marved is firing here shuts down this arcade push completely. And remember that when Sentinels played against Cloud9, yeah, their players looked like they were in raw form. Fantastic on Fracture. But then Marv looked really off when he was playing the Astro on the other 2 maps. So having Sen pop in here and getting a good start to the match could be incredibly important.
Yeah, integral. We'll be keeping a closer eye as well. Map number 2. See how that one also develops here. Double dart, and well, shot misses. Operator in the hands of second.
Unusual to have your Rays be opping. That's one of the things that you don't expect playing against Sentinels comp.
Yeah, a lot of teams opting into it. Compositions that don't necessarily suit having operators to still force it up because it is unexpected. Gives it value.
Sassy just got the orb over in A halls. He's now 1 away from having his Rolling Thunder online. Nobody to help Marv here.
Dash to move forwards. Past the sight lines here, spam through the door. All the players grouped up now from LEV. Again, the utility just making sure that nobody can step foot outside, but now through San, it's a double satchel play. King not onto the high ground angle, double face once more. Sen playing together, the fundamentals quite clean. Flash. Taco, no smoke in his way to try and play around this one. All popped off, but he is eliminated straight out of the sky. Every smoke watched for, and that's rocket at the end. Well, we'll put a stop to that. It's 1 versus 1. Mazino sticking a plan out. Extension of time for it. Zekken, orbital strike in his face. How does he play it? Satchel back to escape it.
Look at the patience there, though. He was trying to see if he could get a kill on Mazino before that.
And what is that? Zekken. The crosshair placement, the understanding. Playing it to the crowds.
And he knows he played it to perfection. I mean, he paused inside the orbital strike.
To see if Mazino would give him the peek.
Yeah, unreal. Because he knows he has the blast pack to be able to get out. He's not worried about dying in that spot, and he understands that Mazino's likely to have repositioned. I mean, it's so good there. When it looked like LEV had finally got the trading working into the site, they'd eventually got a pinch working where Mazino and Nos were combined together to trade out a lot of those kills. Now, still mistakes from the Leviatán side. King way too far ahead, not synced up with Taco Leah, but better signs from them. Still at a 5-round loss streak. I mean, overall, this team is at a 5-match loss streak as well. LEV need to pick things up.
Got to step it up. And a big ults online to maybe get a round on the board here. Put a stop to it. A lot of utility thrown their way. This is just to maintain control of Arcade. Shy still going for this, even though they've lost control of Arcade. It's unorthodox. Rolling Thunder pushing them back, and now they're going to try and strike right into them with the showstopper. King does not get anything. Just the one with the rifle before being traded here. Not out in the open. It is absolute carnage and entertainment on Sassy. Can't assist, can't help out. Marv low enough here. Wins this duel out anyway.
How did he win that? He's on 3 HP.
Yeah, Aftershock. They know where Mazino's based. Exactly where he's going to be playing. Tucks into it, taking damage from it. Forcing one of the fights out. There's no swing from Marv.
Pancada's creeping around, though. Misses the op shot.
Yeah, tucked to the corner. This is still winnable for Mazino. Marv low enough. All he needs is one more fight, but well, not offered the opportunity or the chance. Marv and Pancada calling the swing together here. And so far, the thing that's been sailing Sen through a lot of these rounds has been just the fundamentals.
I think they have great game plans on their defense side. This, to me, looks like Sen have far more of an idea of what they want to do. A much deeper playbook.
Also, hell of a I mean, they see the lockdown, they understand we're going to play for arcade control and then just fight it with the Rolling Thunder.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. They have setups in place and they know what to do against other teams throwing ideas at them. This map looks like Sentinels' best. When we saw them play against Cloud9, why on earth did Leviatán pick this map?
Not too sure. It's a valid question.
The whole map veto was incredibly strange.
Yeah. Off exchanging hands here. This time Pancada watching for it. Gives up control of main, and wow, the timing there is just quite unfortunate, but Mazino strikes, he capitalizes.
In the meantime, there's a push out from Dish. They've broken the turret and that signals go.
All the way up into tower here. Already the plant coming down here. No one's really defending this at all, and you're giving them enough time to do that. He resets here, he backs around into tower. You have to take the fight to him. Cleared out eventually. Order strike was dropped down as well just before death. Now we see it. Rolling Thunder push them back. They want to fight into the spawn here, but Sassy's containing from Canteen. It wasn't smoked off. It was an open angle. And Zekken, he's also plugging up the gaps. It's a 2 versus 3. Spike laid down. Satchel through. Flash on top of it. It's safety. Zekken with a quick tap as well, trying to force one of these fights out. Doubled up. Now they have the information. Both the players here from LEV are close. Another flash, a repeat, a re-swing, and Shy takes the fight straight to them. With a rifle in hand, that's 3 in a round and a difference maker.
Very close, but well done by Leviatán there to make sure that that tricky retake did not come through. It's a thrifty round, a light buy from Leviatán that they end up executing on to halt this run from Sen. But the question is possibly too little, too late. LEV need to take this now with rifles in hand and create a plan that's going to work for them. I mean, one of the things that worked very nicely there is that they got the first pick onto Pancada. There wasn't any Cypher utility to worry about, and they were able to react when they saw the defensive aggression. Here's more defensive aggression.
Yeah.
Shy is going to take the rope instantly. Is there a fast reactive push off the back of it, though? That's what worked in round 9. This time, Lev, there's no gas. They don't go anywhere.
It's fully slowed down. Any advantage they could have gained from Shy calling, there was that deep push onto the north side. They don't take it.
And I've got to think that that's because they're worried about Pancada. You don't want to be just running forwards into those trips. But we can see Pancada set up on the A site. They didn't have that information.
Lev will be able to creep into halls, gain control towards A. But the trouble is, Josh, I mean, the trip's laid down. Even if Pancada's smoked off, it's guaranteed to maybe even just get one.
Yeah, and Zekken's got such fantastic information for all the rest of his team. They're going to play A for a little bit of a retake here, but at any point, Zekken can come back in with his ult. And Pancada's made it a 5v4 for Sen anyway.
Yeah, slipped through the gap, didn't he?
Marv's watching the lurk on B, by the way, this entire time. They know that Lev are lurking.
There's no way. In the smoke! That is just unfortunate. Falling off the back of the steps.
30 seconds left.
Wasn't going to win that one out. Cam, King's going to be removing it, taking control of it. Showstopper, though, that is active. And with the movement, Zekken, he survives. Drops down, though. No one to follow up onto this one. All his teammates in spawn for this. Spike's still not planted here. Shy just from around the side there towards San, running all the way forward, seeking to try and deny this one. They need to take up this space. Hall's control. Turret broken. Shy peeking off of it. It's a 1v2. Sassy with so much more to do here, dodging to the side of the fault line, forcing it. And here, gap into play, maybe he can start to get half onto the fuse, sticking it now. Nanoswarm at his feet, it's low enough. Spam doesn't do the damage, 2 bullets left, has to go for the reload here. In this 1v1, Turret still alive as well, might just bring him down if he tries to face wide, and the wrong timing for it. Shy, what a time, again to step up. It's been back-to-back rounds where he has just been a massive difference maker.
And think about how that round could have been different had Marv just not taken one step to the left and been falling off the staircase as Shy pushed through the smoke. This wins them the round.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least it opens up the door for Shy to win the round. He still had a lot to do after that. Had to win a 1v1 that Sassy made a little difficult. But Shy's coming up big for them. The thing is, to me, they knew that Shy was there. That should have been something that Sen were able to shut down. Got a bit unfortunate.
6-4. Attacker's already on the line.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
An opening kill for Leviatán and getting Taco activated, who's been languishing at the bottom of the scoreboard.
Lockdown earned from the prior round. This one will clear out the entirety of B. We're moving away now. Passing back. Shy does have the spike.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so they can't actually take the space once this lockdown does go off.
And there's a push on the south side. These players are so slow getting into the site. The flank is already coming through from Marv and Pancada.
Yeah, really labored, but enough time being bought here. Lev can set up this crossfire, just backing away. Zeno does not to take the fight, just baiting it for Shy, and there it is. He's feeling it. It's confidence right now with this guy's aim. Taking these shots across the ropes. Pancada wants nothing to do with it now, trying to regroup with the rest of the team. But it's a 3v5. Got to think about saving.
Yeah, it's definitely the right call. About to head into round 12, and what a recovery this has been from Leviatán. They look like they were completely out of it. And with 2 really scrappy rounds, then this one a little cleaner, they've managed to get this back into very reasonable territory for the half. A lot of it off the back of Shy, the rhinoceros.
That's been massive moments from him, right? Stepping up. I mean, the reason they win this one round.
He's also really important here again. He holds off that flank.
Yeah, and the lockdown in play at the beginning.
Absolutely. Leviatán is starting to get up to some big ultimates too. Tens has that null command, which can be fantastic for a retake situation because it stops, Zeno from using any molly lineup, so potentially at that point he might have orbital strike, which could be difficult for the team too. Not really a tool that you want to be using early on, though, for Sen. They are sticking to the game plan. Sentinels have been grouping 3 players together and trying to push out an area of the map early while having Marv and Pancada anchor the opposite side. Both teams sticking to the game plan.
Yeah. You're worried. You don't really want to try and punish the alarm bot being placed thinking that Shy could be alone, just in case Lev have adapted. Sometimes you see it from teams. They run the rest of them just with the Sentinel, trying to bait out some of those crunches. Again, it's just so cautious. Slow going, a tap onto the orb. Taco hoping to bait out a fight. Breaking the camp. Minute left in the round here for the final one of this first half.
And it looks like we're going to have a big clash at B.
Oh, yeah.
3 players ready to collect. This looks like a fault line and a peak.
There it is, Stun close to the corner here. Movement, they can hear the footsteps, and it's Lev who are entirely favored.
Sentinels did not realize that there was going to be so many players around there in Arcade. They were looking for info, got more than they bargained for.
Yep, utility used to clear out towards the top side of the tower, but it should be a free plant. Moving up together now. Final round. Flash is still available. Here's a no command. Pop flash play through the smoke. Running right through them, but Tens dropped to his knees. There was no follow-up there. The Nano Swarm laid down into the smoke was everything to just try and stop that. Bit of spam through the box, no kills there. Also, still just needs to get this plant down as well. Shy covering, and it's all up to Sassy. It's looking like Lev bringing it all the way back, and that's 6-6. Massive string of rounds here for Leviatán. Maybe more evidence as well as to why they might have picked this map.
Absolutely. We were questioning the map pick. King 3 and 10, that was what we assumed would be the win condition, but it hasn't been the case. Already now, Sentinels have given up more rounds on Fracture than they did in the entire map versus Cloud9. That ended 13-5. And I think this qualifies as a real recovery from Leviatán, powered by Shy's Fragget.
Yeah. Shy has been just a massive player in the game here. Let's send it down to Golden Boy and the Desk to break down the first half.
Thank you so much, fellas, for that. And it looks as if Leviatán managed to stabilize themselves as they go into that next half. Of course, Baby Bay along with Wyatt here. But let's go ahead and talk about, though, some of the impact players we were seeing in that first half, right? Obviously, you got to talk about Shy. But on the Sentinel side, though, Wyatt, it was very evident, like, Tens had really contributed to the big turnaround and the run that we were seeing Sentinels go on at the midpoint.
Yeah, I got worried early on that we were about to see Sentinels just totally take the momentum and take over the game. It didn't end up happening, but early on, Tens got the ball rolling on that round where he was able to get a few of those crazy sheriff kills because it just totally ruined the economy for Lev. And Sen were able to kind of snowball the next couple, build their economy up, and then just have, you know, what felt like infinite gun rounds basically throughout the rest of the half.
Yeah, and like something that I was saying earlier is that I really love Tens' KO. Like I think he has probably the most assists that I've seen a KO have. On top of like his cracked out aim, it really fits his playstyle. Like I love how he slots into this character. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really scared. I was like, oh no. I was like, they're gonna get destroyed. It's 6-2. But it was a really good from Lev to come back in that half with some huge rounds from Shy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Shy won that first clutch that started getting them back in it. And then that one round that he played that went down to the 1v1 against Sassy was just beautiful. I mean, he made all the right decisions. He cooked Sen on that round. And brought them right back. I mean, yeah, Sen, I thought they were taking it over, but Lev, they're fighting. They're not out of this by any means.
Yeah, we were expecting that, you know, things were going to start to crumble for Leviatán, but, you know, Baby Bay, man, it seems like they stabilized right at the perfect time, right?
Yeah, I mean, my brother may not be dropping the kills right now, but he definitely called that second part of that half pretty well. So I'm happy that they strung together those 4 rounds, and it's a pretty fair game now.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see, too, maybe why Lev picked this map, even though they watched Sen demolish Cloud9 on it yesterday.
For sure.
Because that was a giant question mark, and they've got it. I mean, this feels like the closest they're going to get to a map win in playoffs so far.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's see if they can turn this into an actual win and send it back over to Brendan's Sideshow to see us through that second half.
Yeah, anyone's game, isn't it? This pistol round is going to be the sole focus for both of these teams. See if they can get that advantage and lead.
What a strange setup here from Leviatán. They're on the defense side. Shy has a sheriff, no killjoy setup to speak of, and 4 players stacked on B. I mean, this is such a hard read that Sen are going B, and look exactly where Sentinels' attack are.
Yeah.
Everybody about to walk into the maw.
It's high ground held by Taco Lee on the one side, stun onto the other, any form of contact. There's danger abound, isn't it? It's Nade. Might be quite good here. Waiting for the timing here. 120. There it is. Nade's going to be missing them all the way forwards here, though. Zekken. Satchel's blinded up. He's taken out, and they call the cancel.
They've cancelled, but Pancada's used the distraction to get in a little. Oh,
Taco
spotted by Taco on top of Jenny.
So he won't be able to get too much done. And again, Taco, he turns around. There's a fight to be taken towards main. a little bit shaky. The Sentinels trying to call that cancel here. A lot of damage done on top of it here to TenZ. They need to take some risks here. They need a kill.
Cage triggered.
Turret's still alive and active round. There's a doubled up face.
Spike down.
Surprised the TenZ doesn't go down, only on 5 HP here, moving up into tower. King, enough to get the job done there. And it would have to be that 1v5, an almost impossible scenario here. Fully grouped up, there's the first. But Lev not willing to give him anything else. There's fear stricken into them. It's full discipline. Even to the jeers of the crowd. Lev not willing to overstep themselves. They know exactly what their win condition is. It's that safety in numbers.
Yeah, and TenZ can feel it. He knows he's being baited at that point, but I mean, what more can he do? What is that read from Leviatán? That's not, as far as I'm aware, some kind of hard anti-strat that you would be able to get from watching the VOD. The pistol round that Sentinels played yesterday against, or was it yesterday? The Sentinels, the pistol round that they played at some point, time has no meaning anymore.
Yeah, bro, I mean, don't ask me for what they were on.
But the pistol round that they did on the attack side against Cloud9, they went towards A, completely different. And yet Lev had 4 players stacked up, having a soul read that was going to end by coming upstairs.
Grants him a good opening. Now it's about carrying it forwards, converting it into a few more here. For Sentinels, drop down to the eco round. The goal might just be to farm up some of these orbs. Grouped up. No response, just a knife sent flying.
It's a great knife, and it's going to land onto Shy repeatedly if he plays over towards B. There's very few spots that you can play on site and manage to dodge that.
Yeah, it makes him aware that they're playing towards tower again.
But at the same time, I mean, the economy advantage is so large, it's not like you're going to be popping classics here.
Yeah, Mazzino's contact, there's going to be a stun from this. That's being held by Nozwa. There it is, fault lines let ripped. The team stun, Shy's running out of bullets! Patience needs to be played here, but no, it's all collected and saved in the end there. But the guns can't really get too much more done, and so Pancada left alone, 1v4.
You know, Brent, that wasn't the prettiest trap play I've ever seen in my life.
No, it wasn't.
It got the job done. Pancada's left in a 1v4, similar to TenZ the prior round, to be honest. And at the moment, Lev looking pretty. 2 Spectres, a Guardian and a Bulldog that they're going to be taking into the next round to try and make some kind of bonus play happen. And they still clearly have some kind of ideas of where they want to be laying traps around the map.
Yeah.
We didn't really need to see too much of the attack side from Sentinels on Fracture. They won so cleanly on their defense against Cloud9 that we don't know how good they are here. They might be average and they just scrape by because they had such a lead. Maybe they're excellent. It all remains to be seen.
Oh, this is set up for a brawl, isn't it? Util's going to be dumped straight into B main. You can see it stun set up, smoke behind it, and Senna fully grouped up. No presence shown, but off the orbs contact, they want to stun, they want to fight for it. Nade at the feet. Aftershock into the corner. This is a call made for Lev. They want to try and fight it. An attempt of it. It's TenZ. Takes the first blood and more.
That is a lovely idea from Sen. I mean, it looks like an enormous clash is going to happen over there in tree, and instead, they don't ever walk through that smoke. As soon as the smoke is put, they're waiting for the orb to tap, and they spring their own trap out the back of it.
Yeah.
It's lovely stuff, but it has left Sentinels all grouped up. All 4 players, with Pancada giving them information over towards the north side of the map. And they've still got to get into the site here cleanly.
The cam's still active from Pancada, so he knows that nobody's really pushed up. Just clearing the corner in case there was a timing for it. Knife against tower. Nozwa not tagged by it, but spotted out anyway. They know that there's 2 players here towards it. Flash, support. Nozwa still looking to just run to the side here. Another flash in his hands, doubled up towards it. A fight towards out of Canteen. Flash again, but no, cleaning up. So
that's quite a lot of damage done. I mean, that's a bonus round that's taken 3 guns away from Sen. And while TenZ has his null command up, which could lend them a large amount of momentum, pushing forwards, getting onto site easily off the back of that ultimate, there is going to be a little bit of stuff missing here. You know, Guardian light armor here for TenZ. The Aftershock not present for Sassy. There's pieces missing on this.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Sen have a massive advantage, though, with that null command. They're just going to look to head fast into B. This is where Shy's been playing frequently. This is where you can turn off the Killjoy utility.
It makes sense to utilize it here. It's going to be one of the biggest deterrents. Everybody holding.
This has got to be one of the most quiet maps of Fracture I've ever seen.
Yeah, normally these teams, they love to brawl out towards the extremities, but it has been all contact plays.
So convinced that they were going to go for a fast B hit there. All 4 of them grouped up. And now it's Pancada to fend off Taco. No. And he just slinks across the rope.
Yep.
Doesn't
Getting out of there,
realize.
no noise. Taco's watching it, but will he catch it?
He didn't even see him.
No, did not see it at all.
I mean, the most perfect of timings. I don't know for who.
Jiggle from King, he's got to get out of there. No command, so no util to be used. The defending players are left, looking to try and anchor it down. There is smokes in play, though. Lay it down. It's going to make it difficult. Sen to try and work through. Pop flash play. Again, it's TenZ leading the charge. King has beamed them down, lined them up. There's no real follow-up there from the Sentinels players. 3 players left standing. Maybe they can salvage this situation, but they're all grouped up towards San, just trying to walk through and work their own advantages. Individualistic at best. It's not going to carry them through the round. LEV got the right read.
Yeah, LEV had completely got the right read. Taco cleared out the entirety of Dish, realized that they were going for an A-pop, and there was 4 players ready to receive. This is almost going to be impossible for Sassy and Pancada. And it's 10 seconds left. It's just a save. Even if they killed Shy at this point, they wouldn't be able to get to the site and plant. I'm confused what the call was there for Sentinels, to be honest with you. Because ideally with the null command, you want to be trying to find the site that has 2 players on it. Almost always that is going to be the site that the Killjoy is playing on. So if you don't hear Killjoy utility, it doesn't really make sense to me to be popping null command and rushing the site, because it's more likely than not going to have 3, possibly 4 players there. Wow. Excellent work from King, though. In a position where he could dodge the first flash that came through from TenZ. And what they lacked there was any crosshair breaking. You know, it's not Zekken diving through the smoke, pulling crosshairs while TenZ trades through. It's all just relying on one underhand flash to breach that smoke. Messy round, and exactly when Sentinels needed something to go their way. That is a bonus for Leviatán, something that they used to be known for. We haven't seen much from them recently.
Maybe a return to that form, Josh.
And this would be massive.
Yeah.
The one map where Sentinels look like a top-tier team, from what we've seen from them recently, albeit in a small sample size, was that Fracture. Like crew players all checking their Twitter.
Yeah, completely unaware.
Yeah, I mean,
on camera.
Just reading all of the praise being heaped upon them as they look like the best team in the world right now.
Exactly.
But I'm sure they'll be cheering for Leviatán and happy that things are going in this kind of direction. Sen are up against the ropes here.
Yes.
Their economy is not in a good spot. They've only got 2 rifles that they can bring into this round. They used one of their largest ultimates that should offer them an advantage, and now LEV is starting to get up to theirs. Very close to the rug being pulled out from underneath them after they were up 6-2 in this map.
Looking like LEV can go on a bit of a run. Streak of these rounds maybe on the cards here. Waiting for the barriers to go down. Sentinels setting their sights over towards B. Is this where they inject a bit of pace into it?
It's been so slow so far by both teams. I really doubt it.
Yeah. Knife not getting any tags. Taco again on this high ground position. Looks away, but orb's being picked up. Double face. Just to break that turret and a swing on the other side of things. That's Shy trying to capitalize. More. Smoke's going to be layered down here. Again, there's not really too much oomph being placed off the back of it here from Sentinels. Not aware. Again, that angle was just being played by Taco. Spamming the damage here. Minute 10 left. Pop flash through. They want to try and take the fight to it. Taco, who's blinded up. Just spraying through. He deals with that aggression almost single-handedly. Leaves it up to Pancada, up towards tower. Does have the rifle, but stunned up. Hops away around the corner here. B-hop, first kill. There's his. Dodging to the side. Nade out in the open now. It's the easy sight line for Mazzino to clean up.
And Taco hunts down that kill so aggressively because I think he's looking to try and pick up an operator now. We'll see if he ends up going for it. But they have the money, and Sentinels have been playing very contact all around the map. I feel like a defensive op here would be fabulous. Look how much value Taco's getting anyway from just being sat on, you know, positions where he can take that first contact and get away. I mean, frankly, that is ridiculous. But the opening kill from Generator, those kind of slow peaks, he's going to eat them up if he opts and he's hitting the shots.
Wants the switch up.
It is Taco with the op.
Yeah, he's purchased it now. aware of the slow play start from Sentinels. You keep trying to contact in, you might get punished. Flash. Zeno has to respect that. Running away, orbital strike. Does he really choose to use this? Yeah, with a stun. Connects onto them, and there's the kills.
Beautiful.
Almost grabbing a second. That is adaptability. We haven't seen that from a while from Lev.
Yeah, both teams have really cooked on the defense side here.
We go.
Wait
a second.
sending it deep.
Close to the corner. That's Pancada trying to initiate a bit of running and gunning towards him. Offset the trajectory of the rocket, but no, still a kill there. 2 players, Zekin and Sassy, taking damage. There's a minute left, but again, when you try and play slow and contacty, that is what we're talking about. The operator pickup, finding that value.
And what easy value to give Taco. I mean, that's a player that's been struggling, and if you offer him those kind of shots, he is going to be good for them. You know, you've got to still make it difficult for a player that's had a period of bad form. Instead, Leviatán looking like they're going to be able to get up to 11 here, and the doubt for the fracture pick, I mean, is now being completely flipped on its head. Sentinels do not have any clue of how to be able to get through this.
It's a struggle. Not for Lev here, that's flawless. Economy flourishing. Said it earlier, they're going to be able to get that string of rounds going.
Well, one of the things I'd really like to see from Sentinels is for them to play quickly at the beginning of the rounds in order to get early map control, because when you look at the way that the double duelist comp is going to play for Leviatán, they don't have very good information gathering. They're going to have to flash peek their duelists into positions, and that's where you can punish them for going for those info peaks. But you can't force them to make info peaks if they already have all of the map control and all of the information. You got to go and take it from them at the start of the rounds. And instead, we're seeing Sen be so passive, so slow, and very quiet, hoping that they can creep up on people and spring large execs. I think they're failing in the map control game at the moment. Bit of a rough read on how they want this fracture attack side to work.
Yeah.
And Lev, on the other hand, are going to be boosted from this. It has been a long time since they've had something to be happy about. Like we said earlier, a 5-match loss streak for Leviatán, a team that looked like they were in the ascendancy heading into 2023. All of the hype was around this LATAM squad, about how good they were going to be, about how good their scrims were, and how they might be able to go deep or win lock-in. There was hype and excitement around this team and around what Owner could do with this squad. And instead, they've really, really been struggling to put it together. Anything like this, any boost of confidence, is going to be massive for their mentality.
Yeah. They've been steadily creeping down those rankings, but this could be a turning point now in the lower bracket here for LCQ. Really is the final chance for both of these rosters to showcase something for VCT 2023, whether you continue in the tournament or not. Now, seeing this beginning, this is a molly. It's going to go to the backside of tower, but Taco's here, and there's nothing to push him off of it. Pancada's lucky. He does not pay for his life. Hopping over the top, trying to get a read on where he is. The cage layer down, and on the other side of things, it's already pounced upon. Sentinels taking up all that space. Taco's pressured, knives out, the right click misses. It is absolute anarchy. Lev, they're seeking to capitalize it. It's a monstrous round, man.
And Zekin's done what he could. Double blast packing deep into Jenny with a stinger. Brought down to 700 to try and make something happen for Sen.
Yeah.
But it was a half buy. They were in some senses just throwing that one in there to see if they could possibly stop Lev from getting up to map point. but Taco had a fun time over there at Tree.
Yeah, it was like a prison brawl. It just felt so scrappy. Meanwhile, it's just like World War III occurring on the site.
The only attacking round that Sen have won is when they were on an anti-bonus, 5 rifles against 2.
And this is it. There are plenty of ults to work with. Rifles in hand here. Now you're starting to go fast here. Zekin spots it. 1 player found. There's a showstopper, 1 kill there, but King's still locking down the Horde's angle. And he's firing, isn't he? Confidence is there. Marv being punished and squeezed from behind. It's all over the place. Tens now. Chance to really redeem. He spots the last player out, but the spike is out in the open. It needs to be reclaimed by Sen. Grouping up, playing together. They shut it down as Nozwa attempts that peek.
That's an awesome round by Sentinels. You see the lineup that Tens throws with his knife at the beginning of the round. That was it's from spawn, catching the underneath of drop on A. And as soon as it suppresses Shy, that's the go button. Killjoy utility down, let's hit A fast, quick. And it would have been clean had it not been for King, who did an expert job at dropping the spike as it was getting through halls and turning around and dealing with Zek and 2 with a quick 180. Nevertheless, Sentinels get that online. Still, a Sheriff and a Bulldog coming in here.
The money took a beating despite winning the round here. They want to go fast again. That's going to be a stun. Meeting them, Zekken falling just to the operator. Not enough to push Taco off of that angle and that line. Could this be it? Could that be the finisher for the map here? Still with the dash active for Taco! Oversteps himself, doesn't he? But what a shot from Tens. Pop flash play right into the rifles. They're singing out loud, and there's harmony on the other side here for Lev. Pancada finding his footing onto the side. A tap of the plant. Molly forcing back. It's a double face out, but this is it. It's all for it. Orbital strike. Fight to be won. Lev 13-8.
And what a resurgence for a side that got absolutely slapped by their LATAM rivals. They have come back out here on a map where Sen looked great.
Yeah.
And taken it to them. Fabulous stuff.
Sorely needed.
I said at the beginning, if you're a Leviatán fan, if you're a LATAM fan, you're just hoping that they look that bad because Crew were the best team in the world. Yeah, I'm willing to say it. Crew, best team in the universe. Fnatic couldn't. They just couldn't.
Bracket at the beginning being correct there, but yeah, this was a significant step up here for Leviatán. It's what we wanted to see from them because you want to see something new, but they have good reactions for it. Sentinels had that early string of rounds, Josh, weren't able to really bring it back.
6 in a row.
Yep.
And that is why Kaplan said earlier that he was confident he could finish this 2-0. Well, that is not happening.
That's going to do it for the first map here in this series. Do not go anywhere, of course. Even more action coming up just after this. We'll see you in a bit.